All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Um, Once again, back with the morning articles. All right, that's something that I try to make it a habit, to every morning just look through these different news sites, all right, and see what happened, all right, if there's any news, all right, that's relevant, okay, to the times we're in, to prophecy. But anyway, this is from the Zero Hedge, all right. It says DHS, all right, Department of Homeland Security, braces for potential EMP attack as presidential election nears, okay, and it's not by coincidence that all these uh, um, things are popping up, and they all have that one thing in common. Oh, as we're getting closer to the presidential election. All right, election, election, election. Okay, now it says the U.S. Department of Homeland Security released a new report warning about a potential electromagnetic pulse attack against the United States. All right, it says the DHS's warning, published Thursday, September 2nd, or about 60 days until the U.S. presidential election on November 3rd, indicates there are evolving threats against the American homeland, most recently highlighting efforts to combat an electromagnetic pulse attack, which could disrupt the electrical grid and potentially damage electronics. Okay, and an EMP, all right, it's not like a power outage. An EMP just like it fries, all right, that motherboard, so to speak, of whatever technology you're using. All right, let's do EMP. See what comes up, or effects on electronics. It says when EMP passes through metal objects like a phone, computer, or radio, they can catch this incredibly powerful pulse. This can generate a roll current of electricity that moves through a modern device's tiny circuits and can disrupt or even destroy them. So it's not like, oh, my TV went off because the power went out. If the power goes out, that means there's no electrical current flowing through to power on the TV. An EMP is either it's too much or it's a different kind that once it enters that system, it destroys it. So it's not that your TV is gonna come on when the power comes on. Your TV is destroyed. It's gone. All right, it's been fried. So that's what it does. So when the EMP hits and your phone stop working and all that, it's because your phone is done. It's cooked. Okay. So it says where was I at? The department released an EMP status report via the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency that said the key actions to address known EMP related vulnerabilities to critical infrastructure. Okay. And why are they now bringing up the topic of an EMP? Now notice, look, in this society we live in, all right, there's something called controlled opposition. Okay, it's artificially made enemy, all right, because when you want to play hero and there's no villain, then you got to create the villain so that you can be recognized as the hero. All right, order out of chaos, or problem reaction solution. And so ultimately what these elites like to do, being that they have the power, all right, to do it, they like to create boogeymen, and then they'll give you a heads up. Hey, this is the new boogeyman for this season. All right, whether it's a virus or it's a so-called terrorist attack, or whatever it may be, they always like to give little bits, all right, of it before, and then they start to gradually build upon it and turn it into an actual thing. Okay, and that's what they did with the whole Trump election situation. They first threw that out there, you know, just threw it out there. Oh, something about Trump postponing the election or the election being unsure, and then slowly but surely it starts to build where it becomes a thing. All right, as where a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, it was pretty much assured in people's minds that they would have an election. All right, once again in their minds. So this EMP threat that they're bringing out, it's just they're throwing it out there to put it in the back of your mind, so then they can start to build upon it, build upon it, build upon it, and then once they get to that climax, because it could be them, all right, which usually it is, okay, where they set up some whatever attack and they blame it on somebody else as the cover story. All right, but they do that all for a reason. So it says CISA said an EMP attack could disrupt, degrade, and damage technology embedded in critical infrastructure systems. Widespread blackouts could be seen if an EMP was to damage the nation's electrical grid, resulting in additional flare ups of socio-economic turmoil. And this place is already doing bad. All right, people are getting evicted. Okay, society is done. These businesses are done. Okay, so what more to throw this place into what better to throw this place into a third world country than an EMP attack? Now, if they knew, all right, about how weak the infrastructure is, why didn't they fix it this whole time? All right. Now it says EMP attacks are part of the emerging threats against our nation and demand a response, said senior official performing the duties of the Deputy Secretary Ken Cusinelli. All right, if I said that right. It says that is why DHS is taking these contingencies very seriously, working diligently to mitigate our risks and equipping our state and local partners with the resources they need to do the same. Now, the reason I was mentioning this about how they like to throw this stuff out there and then they do it is because before the whole coronavirus situation came, pretty sure it was an article came out, okay, that was saying from I think the World Health Organization, all right, or the CDC. One of them was saying that look, this place or the world or America, I forgot specifically how it went, is not prepared for a pandemic, all right, and the next pandemic is gonna wipe out a lot. You know, it's gonna do a lot of damage, all right. And there was an article in RT News about that, and lo and behold, a couple of months, maybe a year or so later, boom, you know, the coronavirus hit. All right, just as they said. So when they start throwing these things out there and then it happens, don't be surprised. It says, we've made significant progress and look forward to work ahead. CISA Director Chris Krebs said top priorities of the agency is to mitigate threats associated with EMPs. Over the past year, we have worked with interagency and industry partners to identify the footprint and effects of EMP threats across our national critical functions and are developing sustainable, efficient, and cost-effective approaches to improving the nation's resilience to EMPs. And the Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, the Lord has an EMP hit, okay, and really wake these people up, man. Because darkness, man, people fear darkness, okay? When you can't see anything, because darkness leads to what? Confusion and uncertainty. And that's what brings fear. You know, they can't see what's going on. They don't know what's going on. Anything can happen, you know. So it says to combat these emerging threats, President Trump signed an executive order in March of 2019 delegating power to the White House for EMP preparedness. All right. It says we recently quoted Peter Vincent Pry, ex-chief of staff of the Congressional EMP Commission, who wrote an op-ed that said the virus pandemic from China has exposed dangerous weaknesses in U.S. planning and preparedness for civil defense protection and recovery, and those weaknesses surely have been noticed by our potential enemies, China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and international terrorists. So they're already throwing out a couple of examples of who they could, if let's say they were to set up a false flag, all right, EMP attack, who they could blame. Well, they're throwing some names out. Okay. It says Pry warned that China has been planning to defeat the U.S. with an EMP and cyber Pearl Harbor attack for a quarter century. Now they could do that. Okay, they could do that as well. DHS nor CISA gave any more information on evolving EMP threats on the American homeland. There was not mention of whether these threats could be from solar storm or EMP weapons. However, the EMP status report did mention DHS is currently running EMP pilot tests to assess EMP vulnerability on infrastructure. And it's funny how they have this thing called Operation Dark Winter. Okay, quite the choice of words there, huh? Operation Dark Winter. Okay, it's not by coincidence that they have certain things like that, because winter is coming. And it seems like this winter is gonna bring a lot of things with it, Lord willing. Okay, Lord willing to be the start of Jacob's trouble. Okay, when all these things hit at once, with some natural disasters, you have this eviction wave. All right, second wave of the virus plus some other viruses. You know, different outbreaks. Okay, famines. Well, lights out. Now, if America gets hit with an EMP attack in the wintertime, a lot of people are gonna die. A lot of people are gonna die because people, they're so used to technology to the point where they forget how much of it they actually use and depend on for survival. A lot of people don't know how to start fires, so they depend on their heater, their stove, their TV, their AC, okay, their ovens, their microwaves. A lot of these things are electrical. All right, they are electronic. So if the EMP hits and fries all of that, what you doing? You know? It says finally, um, DHS is partnering with other federal departments and agencies, state, local, tribal, and territorial entities. But not to get it twisted, I'm pretty sure they have certain bunkers in certain areas that are EMP proof. Okay, that won't be affected. But for the other areas, you basically asked out. It says in the private sector to field test a more resilient critical infrastructure. There are a number of field demonstration or pilot projects planned and underway by both DHS and DOE to assess EMP vulnerability and then deploy, evaluate, and validate EMP mitigation and protection technologies. It says one such pilot in San Antonio. Da, da, da. Okay. Let's see. It says working with federal interagency partners, DHS will play a major role in ensuring communication systems remain operational and by ensuring key systems which are protected against EMP are also protected against other threats such as cyber attacks. Now, if an EMP hits, that's literally everything being fried. Your social media is going down. All right. Everything is going down. All right. It says one EMP expert and friend of the site summed up the report perfectly. We recognize the threat and we're working on it, and you do not need to know any more than that. Thank you for asking. Wow. Okay, would you look at that? You do not need to know any more than that. Because that might mean there might be more at risk here that they don't want you to know. The warning comes just 2 months before the U.S. presidential election. All right, and as we keep saying, man, the closer and closer we're getting to this election, the more and more things are picking up. All right, now let's go here. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, an evil and only evil, behold, is come. So if you're looking from here to the future, all right, of this place, only an evil has come. And an evil means a bad time. All right, Ev means an age, and ill means bad. All right, so an ill age or an ill time or a bad time. Okay, and an only bad time, behold, is come. The end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. All right, and that's the times that we're in, man. Okay, the morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Okay, so the Most High is about to bring all hell upon this place, man. It's gonna come in all different forms. All right. Verse 8, now will I surely pour out my fury upon thee and accomplish mine anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. All right, and in today's day and age, that's going to be the whole world, really, starting with the nation of Israel, because the Lord said he would start at his sanctuary first, but everybody's going to get it. All right, with the exception of the elect. Now, this is Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Like I said, because these elites have a track record of playing the hero and the villain. They create a villain, all right, make it look real, create an event, and then come on and say, hey, look, we got the solution. All right, that's how they do it, man. So woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. So whether it be a man-made pandemic or propaganda on the news or new laws and whatever it may be, it ultimately comes, there are orders that come down from the higher ups to these people and these uh, uh, politicians and congressmen and so on and so forth. All right. Now this is Psalms 21:11. It says, "For they intended evil against thee; they imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform." Why? Because ultimately, all right, yeah, they can set up an EMP attack. All right, they can bring that chip. They can do all these different mischievous, wicked devices and bring it to try and bring it to come to pass. But what? They're not going to be able to ultimately perform it by gaining their new world order. Okay, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to step in, all right, and destroy this man. Okay, so anyway, with that, I hope this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Makah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.